Imagine if you're sitting alone at your home on a quiet evening. The lamps are dim, the wind outside is gentle, everything feels normal, but then you hear sound from attic. A slow dragging step, a soft thump, a faint shuffle that doesn't belong to you. In that moment, one question chills you. Is it something paranormal? Or is it a real person hiding above you? Doesn't it sound like a beginning of a horror story? Well, for one family in Germany, it was not a story, it was their life. They heard the same strange sound in their attic. For more than 6 months, they searched, but they found nothing. But few days later, the entire family disappeared in the middle of lonely German forest. Their bodies found days later in a branch stack, like someone was tidying a mess. Yet not a single neighbor heard anything. No dogs barking, no gunshots, nothing. Just a silence swallowing an entire household. So what haunted the Gruber family? A ghost, a threat from the woods, or a human monster living just above their heads? Let's start there. Because this isn't an ordinary murder case. This is the kind of story that slips under your skin. Hinterkaifeck was a small, isolated farm. The kind of place where winters were long, the nights even longer, and houses stood so far apart that lantern lights looked like fireflies in the dark. The Gruber family lived there. Andreas, his wife Cecilia, their daughter Victoria, her 2 children, and a maid who had just arrived. They had no idea that something else had also moved in. Something quiet, something patient. A few months before the murders, Andreas complained that he was hearing footsteps in the attic at night. Heavy ones, slow ones. He searched the whole house. Nothing. No intruder, no broken window, no explanation. Just dust and silence. Then came the footprints. One cold morning, Andreas spotted a clear set of tracks leading from the woods straight to the farm, but none returning back to the forest. Whoever came never left. Andreas told his neighbors. They shrugged it off. Maybe he imagined it. Maybe it was a hunter. Maybe he was just getting old. But deep down, people whispered that Hinterkaifeck had always felt strange. 6 months earlier, the family's maid had quit without warning. She claimed the house was haunted. She heard voices. She felt someone watching her. She couldn't sleep. Every night felt like someone was standing at her door. The Grubers dismissed her worries, but they hired a new maid to replace her. She arrived on March 31st, 1922. 31st March, 1922. Cold wind brushing past wooden walls. Animals restless in their stalls. The forest pressing in from all sides. Someone was waiting for them that night, hidden in the shadows of the barn. Silent, patient, almost as if you already knew the order in which the family would step outside. One by one, they walked out of the house, and one by one, he struck. A single blow to the head with a pickaxe-like farm tool, swift, heavy, and meant to end a life in an instant. By the time he was done, the entire family had fallen to the ground, without a chance to scream or run. But he didn't stop there. He dragged their bodies together, piling them the way someone might gather discarded things they no longer care about. He pushed the heap of lifeless bodies toward the corner of the barn, covering them as if trying to hide the truth of what he had done. Then he headed toward the house. Inside, the maid and little Joseph, Victoria's young son, was still unaware of the horror unfolding outside. He walked into their rooms, calm, deliberate, and did to them exactly what he had done to the others. No mercy, no hesitation. By the end of the night, the entire household had been wiped out. And the part that chills the blood isn't the killing itself, it's what came next. The murderer didn't run, he stayed. For 4 days, someone lived on that farm as if it still belonged to the dead. He fed the cattle, he cooked in the kitchen, he warmed himself by the fireplace. A steady ribbon of smoke curled out of the chimney, and the neighbors waved from afar, thinking life was going on as usual. All the while, the bodies lay hidden under a blanket of hay in the barn, waiting to be found. Neighbors saw smoke rising from the chimney. They heard the dog barking at night. They assumed everything was normal. They had no idea death was inside the walls. The first person who sensed something was wrong was the postman. Letters for the Grubers sat untouched. The family never missed their mail. By day 5, neighbors went to check. When they stepped into the barn, they froze. A foot sticking out from beneath a heap of hay. The truth spilled out from there. During the investigation, one thing became obvious. This wasn't the work of someone who slipped in for a single night. Whoever the killer was, they had likely been living on the farm for nearly 6 months, without the family ever realizing it. The attic told the whole story. There were signs of someone staying there. A rough makeshift bed, footprints where the dust should have been untouched, bits of food left behind. Someone had been watching them from above. So the big question became, who did this? There are 3 major theories. First theory, Lorenz. People suspect him because he entered the locked house without hesitation. He walked straight in, using a key, as if he already knew where it was, or as if he had been inside before. Investigators found it strange that a man claiming concern acted with such confidence. It didn't sit right. Second theory, Victoria's husband, Carl Gabriel. Official records say he died in World War I, but some believe he never died at all. According to this theory, he returned, hid himself, and carried out the murders. It sounds wild, but eyewitness accounts from soldiers who fought with him were shaky and contradictory. Third theory, the Bickler brothers, Anton and Carl. Out of all the suspects, these 2 stood out the most. They were seasonal workers who knew the farm's layout better than most. They also had a personal grudge against the Gruber family. Their sister, Crescence Rieger, had once worked as the Gruber's maid. And before she died, she told her priest something that should have changed everything. She said she believed her own brothers had killed the family. She claimed she had tried telling the police earlier, but no one ever took her seriously. In her formal statement, she even admitted the brothers hated the Grubers, especially Andreas. And yet, despite all of this, the case remains unsolved to this day. Hinterkaifeck has a strange way of staying silent. Even today, the case remains one of Europe's deepest unsolved mysteries. No killer identified, no confession, no final theory that answers every question. Just a farm destroyed, a family erased, and a story that refuses to fade.